Hi guys! Yesterday I finished a book I've been meaning to read for a long time. Inio Asano is a big rising name in alternative manga right now, and there's been a lot of critical buzz surrounding each of his works that come out in English, which now include Solanin, What a Wonderful World, Goodnight Punpun, A Girl on the Shore, and this book, Nijigahara Holograph. The high price point on this Fantagraphics manga release led me to want to read it before I could justify the purchase. So I was very happy to find it while scanning my university library's comic and manga section. Interestingly, I found it not in the section for the usual for fun manga volumes, but hidden amongst the comic book academia and criticism, which in my library is a completely different section. It's difficult to describe the plot of Nijigahara Holograph. It takes place across several different timelines, which are not clearly delineated within the narrative, and follows a large number of different characters. Given that this is an Asano work, it should come as no surprise that although the narratives of each character are profoundly interwoven, the characters themselves are isolated from one another, lost within their own minds and lives. At the center of all of this, though, is a single girl, or sometimes woman, named Arie Kimura, a local fairy tale about a monster located in the tunnel behind the school who will bring about the end of the world, leads a group of school bullies to sacrifice Arie by pushing her into a well. She falls into a coma. In other lives, she continues to play her role as a sacrifice in a variety of ways, suffering rape, abuse, murder, and suicide, as a strange migration of butterflies threatens to envelop the town. This book is extremely immersive, completely sucking the reader into its surreal environment and emotionally charged dream logic. Unlike Asano's other works, which tend to be firmly grounded in reality, this book reads like a fever dream. Jarring back and forth jumps between timelines serve both to disorient and to unsettle, and the imagery contributes very effectively to this feeling. In a book like A Girl on the Shore, heavy use of close-ups combined with characters in extremely detailed photographic environments serve to create a strong sense of place and time, while generating a close empathy for the characters and strong sense of their isolation within their own world. In this book, by contrast, the same techniques are employed to create a sense of unreality, the camera whipping around as wildly as the book's chronology. The contrasting beauty and menace of the butterflies perfectly mirrors the world Asano creates, in which beautiful environments mask a deep darkness within the town. The repeated symbols of the butterflies and the tunnel monster, which is never seen but grows larger each time Arie is sacrificed, serve as poignant symbols of the ever-present specter of human violence. It is in exploring that theme of human violence, however, that my problems with the book arise. While certain characters, like the teacher with a bandaged face who struggles between her desire to help her students and her desire to turn completely inward and focus on her own issues, and Maki, a girl with unrequited love who unwittingly ends up in a relationship with Arie's rapist, are just as vibrant and multifaceted as I expect from this author. Others, like the rapist and even Arie herself, fall neatly into archetypes without ever really seeming to grow outside those lines. Further, the focus on female suffering, and especially the focus on sexualized violence against women, is sure to turn off some readers, including myself. Personally, I was rather alarmed to see an author I've come to associate with strong female-focused narratives like A Girl on the Shore and Solanin turn so immediately to rape when writing a horror narrative. This type of sexualized violence is only committed against women throughout the book, and seems to happen to every woman who experiences violence within the story, suggesting that it was just the first thing to come to Asano's mind when writing violence that happened to be committed against a female person. I found this aspect extremely disappointing personally. That said, I have read some interesting opinions that this may be a commentary on the depictions of violence against women in Japanese media, and while I'm not entirely convinced, I would love to hear people's opinions about this interpretation. The release itself is, of course, gorgeous, as can be expected of Fantagraphics manga releases, The book is in gorgeous, oversized hardcover, and I'm a fan of this image they chose for the cover, which appears early within the story. The paper quality is extremely good, very thick and sturdy, and the ink is a nice, deep black. The translation is provided by Matt Thorne, who in my opinion is one of the best translators working right now, so I didn't have any problems there. The book includes the usual pronunciation guides one can expect from a Fantagraphics book in the back, but there aren't any other extras like color pages. Personally, I'll be waiting to buy this book until I'm able to find it cheaper. As an Asano work, it is worth owning, but out of the 3 works I've read, this is my least favorite. It's just as beautifully drawn, immersive, and quietly poignant as the other works I've read from this author. But the lack of character given to certain major players, including the story's linchpin, Arie, who remains a passive victim to the end, and the alarming focus on sexualized violence against women, as well as the sometimes unnecessarily obtuse storytelling, left me walking away less satisfied than with Pun Pun or A Girl on the Shore. Still, overall, I would recommend it to fans of Inio Asano's work, as well as people looking for a good, surreal, psychological horror series. I ultimately gave it 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads.